Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Amy here. It's been a while. Today we are going to talk about my October wrap-up, which I actually filmed like a week and a day ago. It's been a while, so I need to go through it and kind of tweak it a little bit. I made an intro to it, but I'm scratching it because nobody wants to hear it. I didn't even want to hear myself talk, so nobody wants to hear it. I was just on there just explaining to y'all what has been going on in my life, why I haven't been posting any videos. It's just been a stressful October. Here we are now in November. Hopefully things will start straightening out. I don't know. Things are still kind of up in the air, but hopefully it starts getting a little better. I do feel better about what's been happening, but like I said, things are still up in the air. So basically I sort of have a new job. It's with the same company. I know I've never talked about what I do or where I work. I actually work for Baton Rouge General. I work from home, as you all know. Basically just like registering patients and going over their accounts and making sure their claims are filed correctly, things like that. I do it for different clinics throughout the hospital. And I'm still going to be doing that, but I am under new management now. So things are going to be ran a little bit different, and I am going to have to start going into the office. For now, it's just going to be once a week. At the end of the year, my new manager is going to evaluate the situation and everything, and then I think we're going to go from there, and I guess the decision will be made on whether I will stay at home or will stay with the once a week at work, or maybe I'll be going to an office every day of the week. So I don't know what's going to happen. It's all kind of up in the air. I've been very, very stressed about the situation. I don't do well with change. It's not that it's a bad situation, or it's actually probably good. Some change is good. It's just that it all kind of happened very quickly, and it was just like kind of dumped on me and my sister-in-law. My sister-in-law works with me from home as well. She's just like a couple houses down, so we're always working together. So she's with me in this, so at least I have someone there by my side to help me get through this little change that is going on in my work career. So yeah, definitely just things are going to be added to what I normally do. So and I'm going to be on a stricter schedule. I'm not going to have the leisurely time that I used to have. I used to have just, you know, like go run errands in the morning. It didn't really matter to my previous boss, just so I got my work done and my time in, whether I had to make it up because I went run some errands that day, you know, whatever. It didn't matter to her, just so my work was done. But she has moved on to bigger and better things, which is why I am under new management. And like I said, change can be good. So I'm hoping for the best. I just ask that y'all be patient with me in posting my videos. I've also had some other things happen throughout the month of October. I had a little mammogram scare. They did call me back to go in for an ultrasound. But everything's fine, and I've been called before. That's very personal, and I know a lot of you probably don't want to know about that. Maybe even TMI, I don't know. But yeah, that is an issue in my health life. But I haven't been called back in a really long time, so I thought maybe things were looking better. Let's just say I need to slow down on the caffeine and the chocolate. Let's just say that. But anyway, things are fine. So that was a little stressful point in October. And then as far as work goes, I had to end up traveling for 2 weeks to do flu shot events for Baton Rouge General. So my sister-in-law and I were going to Plaquemine, and one day we were in Baton Rouge one day, but for the most part we were in Plaquemine. So so that was going on. And then right around that time, my boss hit us with this news, and it was just like, what? So it's all happening very fast. Our new manager is just trying to get familiar with what we do, and she's adding onto our workload. So yeah, so like I said, just bear with me. I don't know where this is gonna go. I don't know if I'm gonna be going into an office after the first of the year, or if it's gonna be completely stay at home or just going in once a week like I have been now. I just started going in once a week. Well, this coming week will actually be my first week by myself. Last week we went through like some retraining, my sister-in-law and I, so we were there Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of last week. Or well, should I say this past week. So next week we go on our own. So we'll see how it goes. I've been, like I said, very stressed, very nervous just about the whole situation. I'm not good with change, but change can be good. I keep like repeating that to myself, just telling myself that. But over the weeks, it has, like, my stress level has gotten better, just because I'm getting familiar with my new manager and what I think she expects of me. But like I said, we'll just see. We just have to play it out as we go, and I won't know anything further until after the first of the year. So like I said, things are still up in the air, but we're gonna do our best. So here we are. We're gonna talk about October's wrap up, which is not very good, y'all. I didn't get hardly any reading done in October, just because it was such a busy, stressful month. I would try, when I would get home and like get in my bed, I would try to like calm myself down and read, but for the most part it just wasn't happening. I wasn't enjoying any of the books I picked up, so I had just a really bad reading slump month. I did enjoy a few. There is a 5-star in there, 2 5-stars actually. No surprise, they're Mel romances. No surprise there. That's just my comfort zone right there. So let's go ahead and jump back to me from last week, going through my wrap up. And I may be popping in a little bit because I haven't, at the time I was filming the wrap up, I did not finish some of those books. There was 2 books that I was still reading, and I was at the end of them. Or was I was thinking I was at almost the beginning of one and then the end of another. We'll see. So I may be popping in, current me will be popping in from past me. But anyway, let's get on with the wrap up. Okay, y'all, let's talk about what I've been reading or have not been reading. Let's talk about what I have not been reading. I started the month off with I'll Be Gone in the Dark. This is by Michelle McNamara. I'm not a big nonfiction reader. I try to be, I want to be, but every time I pick up a nonfiction book, I just don't like it. Now, I will listen to a podcast about true crime every day of the week, but, and maybe it was because I have listened to so many podcasts about the Golden State Killer that it just didn't do anything for me. Yes, it's scary. It's definitely scary to think what this horrible man did to these people, but I was honestly bored with it. Although I enjoyed the writing and the way that Michelle McNamara, I guess I was let me say I was more intrigued with the way she collected her evidence and all her, not evidence, what am I talking about? The way she collected all the material. I mean, she was so passionate about getting justice for all these people and catching this horrible man, and that was very fascinating. But as far as just listening to like her past, her growing up, her family, I just wasn't into it. I did give it 3 stars, but it wasn't what I was hoping it would be, I guess. So that's how we started the month. I did listen to it. The narration was really good. So if you have not yet read this book and do want to read it, I recommend the audio. Now, the one book I can say that I did enjoy as far as thriller or horror is Later by Stephen King. It's kind of shiny. I actually really enjoyed this. I had a good time. I was terrified a couple of times in this book. Things got spooky. It reminded me very much of The Body or Stand By Me, where we have the grown-up version of the child telling us his childhood story. And that's what we have here in this book. We're following Jamie, and he's, in the beginning, you know, he's older Jamie, and older Jamie is going to tell us all about younger Jamie and how he coped with his everyday life because he saw dead people and talked to dead people, and it was terrifying at times. Oh, what did I wanted to? I thought I had written this down, and I didn't even mark it in the book. Oh, I think I put it in my Goodreads review. Let me find that. I gave it 4 stars, but this was the phrase that really like explained it, the way he felt as a child, or as a younger version of himself. Like, well, as a child. But it's not like in that movie with Bruce Willis. It can be interesting, and it can be scary sometimes. It can be a pain in the ass, but mostly it just is. So yeah, it was like he just kind of got used to it. And like you said, it could be scary at times depending how that person died, because he would see the accident, you know, like if that person got horribly like mangled in an accident or car crash, or he would see that. So yeah, it did kind of, it reminded me of The Sixth Sense, kind of mixed together with The Body or Stand By Me by Stephen King. Well, Stand By Me is the movie, The Body is the book. The movie is better, in my opinion. So yeah, he's just telling us how it was, and he would give us certain points in his life that sticks out to him. So it was only him and his mother that knew what he was capable of, until someone else finds out. It's really hard to explain this book without giving anything away, but I really enjoyed it. If it's kind of been on your TBR or in the back of your mind, I say go for it. I listened to this also as I read along with the audio, and the audio was really, really good. I think I have that in my, yeah, I did listen. Yeah, I highly recommend it. The narration was excellent and brought a little more to the story. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. So I gave this one 4 stars. So yay for one good book of the month. Okay, then I picked this book up because I had intentions on doing a reading vlog of reading dark male romances that some of y'all have recommended to me. And one of them was Captive Prince by C.S. Packett. Love. I didn't put this on my TBR, but this was kind of like gonna be like a secret TBR that ended up being a huge flop. So I apologize for that. I may kind of redo something like that in the future. So if there is anything you would like me to read for a vlog, put it down below and I'll put it on my list. But yeah, that was the intention of this book. I loved it. What can I say? I don't know what else to say except that I love it. I haven't put my review up on Goodreads yet, or that I even read it, because like I said, it was going to be a reading vlog, kind of like a secret TBR kind of reading vlog. But anyway, I did write it down in my notes on my phone. Excellent book, excellent storytelling. I loved it. That's like my first line. So we have Prince Damon of Aquilos. It was very hard to keep everybody together. I'm not a huge fantasy reader, but this one really did it for me. But Prince Damon of Aquilos was captured by his own stepbrother to be the slave to Prince Laurent. We're gonna call him Laurent. I don't know if that's his name, but I like Laurent. Prince Laurent is like this spoiled, that's what he kind of reminded me of, this spoiled little prince that not necessarily got his way, but he was watched over by his uncle, and his uncle just kind of like let him do whatever, but he was still trying to train him to, you know, be the next one on the throne. Anyway, so, you know, like I said, Prince Damon becomes his slave. Of course, he doesn't know who he knows of Prince Damon, but he does not know that that's who he has as his servant right now. So they sort of, you know, grow like this friendship together. It takes a really long time. This is a very, very slow burn, but I really enjoyed the connection of Laurent and Damon in the book. Like they have not done anything yet. I still have to read part 2 and part 3, which will be getting bought very, very soon. I could have bought the whole trilogy, but I didn't, because I didn't know if I was really gonna like this. But yeah, I can't wait to continue with it. So this was definitely a 5-star, but like I said, it's very, very slow burn. There's nothing that happens between the two characters except for building their relationship. But the end does kind of leave you hanging. So yeah, so I'm ready to jump in and see what's gonna happen. Another dark male romance that I was going to do for this reading vlog was Captive Beautiful Monster by Jex Lane. Now I have read, but when I got into this, I do have the vlog like for this book, but then we get into this next book, which is on my tablet, and that's when everything just turned to chaos. That's when my world turned upside down. So to speak, I guess. I'm being dramatic, but to me, that's what it felt like. Yeah, so this took me a little while to get into. I don't know if it was the moment in my life, or whether this is just maybe too high fantasy for me, even though I kind of still want to know what happens. So this is a relationship between a vampire and an incubus, but the vampire and incubus people are at war, currently at war, that have been at war for years, millions of years. But we have, what is his name? Matthew? I think his name is Matthew. He is a very special vampire. So he's a little bit different from the other vampires, which makes our incubus lord, I forget his name. It starts with a T. But anyway, that's what kind of keeps Matthew safe, is because there's Tarek. Is it Tarek? Tarek knows what kind of vampire Matthew is. I could be saying that wrong. I don't know. I don't have the information in front of me, but I will have a picture up so you can see what I'm talking about. This was also recommended by one of y'all that I had written down. Yeah, this what I did get about 60, I want to say 63% into it before I was just like, I don't care anymore. I just don't care anymore. They actually went to war, and reading the battle, I was just like, okay, that's the only thing about like fantasy or high fantasy that I can't get into. The whole reading, the whole battle kind of scene. My mind just completely goes away, and I cannot, like, I just can't get into it. I liked the relationship between the two of them, but then I didn't. Like, I liked Matthew and I liked Tarek, but then I didn't like Tarek, and I didn't know if I liked them together. Yeah. So anyway, so I have not finished this one. I sort of DNF'd it on my Goodreads, but it's possible I may go back to it in the future. So to try to make myself feel better, I was like, okay, let's pick up a male romance, because it always makes you feel better. So I picked up I finished the trilogy, the Spookology trilogy. I'm not sure what the name of it is, but book 2 is Principles of Spookology by S.E. Harmon. Once again, we're back with Rain, who can also see dead people, But this is a little bit more on the lighter side of seeing dead people. It has a little bit of a humor to it. I really enjoyed the first book. Can't really say that much about the second and the third book. I did finish them, I did enjoy them, but it something about, like I said before, it could have been just this particular time in my life where I just couldn't get into it. But I did like it. I gave both of them 4 stars. But we're just following Rain around as he's, you know, he is now his own private investigator. Him and his significant other have a business, and Rain gets in touch with, or well, more like the dead come to him, and he goes out and tries to, you know, figure out what happened. And the second book is more like in the first book, Rain and Daniel were sort of separated a little bit. I don't want to give too much away if you haven't read the first one, but that book is more about them coming together and working together, and Daniel kind of coming to the realization of what Rain can do. So yeah, so we move on to book 2. And we get further into their relationship, and where Daniel has completely embraced what Rain can do, and that's how they made their new investigative business. So yeah, so the ghosts come to him, and you know, they figure out what, they pull the case if it was a cold case, or if it's not, you know, they go out and they figure it out. They figure out what happened. In the third book is called Spooky Business. This one was got a little bit more interesting because we're dealing with like a serial killer that Rain goes to see at, you know, in prison, and he has killed like several women, over a dozen, I believe, and he has like sent their family like black roses or something. He calls them his roses. And he basically has them like a rose garden for them or whatever. So his wife, the serial killer's wife, goes missing. So he wants to talk to Rain and have Rain look for her, you know, if she's dead or whatnot. So in the midst of that, we have that story, and then we have, of course, another story where a ghost kind of comes to him. This one was kind of spooky because this ghost was pretty scary, you know, like he was trying to get his point across, and I don't want to give too much away, but anyway, it was kind of more on the spookier side of the 3 books. So yeah, we have, like the serial killer story, then we have the ghost that has come to Rain and is kind of like haunting Rain. So Rain's trying to figure out where he came from and what's his deal. And then in the midst of all that, we also have the growing relationship of Rain and Daniel. Can they truly survive? Can their relationship survive? You know, everything, Rain having ghost in his head and all around, you know, can their relationship survive? So we have that story as well. So the third book was definitely a little bit more interesting than the second book. But yeah, I gave it 4 stars as well. But I do recommend this series. I really enjoyed it. It was fun. It was like a lighthearted, spooky kind of read. Male romance. So then we go to Chasing the Boogeyman. This is by Richard Shizmar. I got that far. So not, you know, a little bit more than halfway. I went ahead and I marked it because this also I may eventually go back to. But I completely lost interest in it. This is a fiction story, but it is read and presented like a nonfiction book. So we're actually getting Richard Shizmar's story about a boogeyman that was killing young girls in, what was it, like the 80s? I don't really remember, honestly, because I lost interest so many times in this book. My mind would drift away, and I don't remember the timelines, but he's like telling his story a lot of the first part of the book is just like his history. I believe he's a reporter, but also trying to be a horror writer at the same time. So he's writing a book about the Boogeyman. I think, y'all, I could not stay focused on this book at all. But I feel like I've gotten too far into it to really chunk it and DNF it completely. So again, this may be something I go back to. I did listen to this on audio, but I don't recommend the audio. I didn't find it that good at all. There was nothing like wrong with his voice, but the way he told the story was just not appealing to me. I DNF'd it on my Goodreads, but I may possibly finish it sometime in the future. One book that I am enjoying right now and probably will finish before the end of the month is Drilled by K.M. Newhold. This is the 7th and sadly last book in the Four Bears construction series. And this one, like all the other ones has probably been like a 4-star because I've really enjoyed them, but they just haven't been as good as like those first couple of them. But this one is really, really good. This is Apollo and Ridge's story. And Apollo and Ridge were best friends. And Ridge started dating Apollo's sister. And so Apollo has kind of always had a crush on Ridge, but he's kind of kept it to himself because, you know, Ridge is straight, now he's dating his sister, so, you know, now he's definitely off limits, but they stayed friends. And then something happens. Well, it wasn't like an instant, oh my God, I'm gay. Like Ridge kind of always had that feeling but he couldn't pinpoint it. Like he really liked Anna, which was Apollo's sister, but there was something about him and Apollo and their relationship that just always drew sparks within him, but he didn't really understand what was happening until it just clicked. I'm not going to tell you what happened or how they kind of drew apart over the years. Something happened that really put a damper on their relationship. They haven't talked in like 15 years. And now they're working together at the Four Bears construction. So the Four Bears, being the Four Bears that they are, send Ridge and Apollo out to these remote cabins in the woods to like renovate them. Now, I will say, when I started this book, I wasn't thinking along the lines that this has anything to do with Halloween or spookiness or anything. I was just like, this is a male-male romance I'm looking forward to. I need something good in my life. So this one is based, and this is so funny. I love how K.M. Newhold throws in like just these little Easter eggs, but the camp is called Camp Morning Wood. I love it. I love it so much. And there's also a backstory, or so say a backstory, about a kid that died at this camp, and that's why the camp went under. They had to like stop it. He could not go to this camp anymore because a kid died. So like they're kind of taking it back to like Friday the 13th a little bit. So we get a little bit of like Halloween, Friday the 13th kind of stuff happening. I mean, not happening, but like, you know, like sort of an homage to it or whatever. But anyway, it doesn't have anything to do with the story of Ridge and Apollo. It's just kind of thrown in there like little Easter eggs, and I freaking love it. But I'm not finished with it. I'm at the point where if something's gonna break them apart, but yet they're gonna come back together. I just haven't gotten to that part yet. But sorry about that. My camera cut me off, so I had to go. And then it said no more space, so I had to go put all those clips on my computer and come back. Anyway, so yes, Drilled by K.M. Newhold. I am loving it. I am about 69% of the way done. I still have about like, it's a pretty short book. It's 183 pages, and I think I'm on like page 120 something. So still a little ways to go, but I'm loving it, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a 5-star. So yeah. Yes, it was a 5-star. I ended up loving it. It's one of my favorite books in the Four Bears construction series. yeah, and it was the last one. But we meet some new characters in the 6th book that work at this shop, like a car mechanic shop. I think it's called, it has something to do with bulls, like bulls mechanics, I don't know, something. But she is creating a series of these guys, and I think it's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be like just like Four Bears, but instead of construction, it's gonna be bulls of this mechanic shop or whatever. I'm all here for it, and I can't wait. But yeah, love Drilled. And then of course, remembering that it's the Book Troop book club pick of the month, I was like, oh, let me pick this up. This is The Last House on Needless Street by Catriona Ward. I just started this today, like just started listening to, I've been listening to it while I worked and done some other things around the house. So this is about as far as I've gotten. I'm not sure. I know they've done, as of right now, as of when I'm filming, they've done the live show already, so I don't know what their thoughts are. I'm not gonna look into that until I finish it. I'd like to finish it, hopefully. I don't know if it's gonna be finished this weekend because this is camp weekend ween, and I have 2 books that I'll be reading this weekend. So this one is gonna go on hold, but I will definitely keep y'all posted on my thoughts about this. As of right now, I don't know. I don't know. I'm enjoying the cat's point of view. I really am enjoying that, but I don't know where this is going, or I have no clue what the heck is going on with this book. I want to say a little girl got maybe kidnapped. It's too soon to really tell you any of my thoughts on this book, other than I don't really know how I feel quite yet. But I'm intrigued as to what is going on, so I'll keep you posted on that. The Last House on Needless Street ended up being a 3-star for me. It was I did honestly get kind of bored with it, and I was actually thinking about DNFing it, and actually or was gonna give it like a, I don't know, a 2-star. But as I got closer and closer to the end, and as things started to click into place and I realized what was happening, I bumped that up to a 3-star because I appreciated the ending. The whole of the book was intriguing, and I had no idea where it was going. But then, like I said, when everything just started to click into place, I was just like, oh, okay, wow, that's deep. So yeah, I bumped it up to a 3-star for that reason. But otherwise, it was just kind of like, what the heck is happening in this book? But I can say that I loved the cat's point of view. That's been my reading for the month of October. It has not been really good. As far as like any spooky reads or thrillers or horrors that I picked up, nothing has really done it for me in that department except for maybe Later by Stephen King, which is actually pretty cool and surprising. Of course, my Male romances, I loved Captive Prince, so thank y'all so much for everyone being like, you have to read this, you will love it. I did. I actually finished one more book in the month of October, and that is Camp Cornage. This was by Elliot Arthur Cross and Joshua Winning. I absolutely loved this. This is a conversion camp, which is already a horror within itself. So this is where parents sent their gay teens to try to straighten them out, so to speak. And they start getting killed off one by one, or they start going missing one by one, more like. And but I love the character build in here. It gave me like, it very much gave me like Friday the 13th kind of vibes, or even Scream. Cause these kids like came together and became friends, but then they kept getting picked off one by one. It was done very well for a pretty short story. It was only like 100 and, I don't know, 20 something pages. 178 pages, my bad. But it was spaced out and done really well. I really enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads, but the more I think about it, to me this was a 5-star. I had a good time with it. I didn't want to put it down. It's based in the summer of 1986, so good 80s vibes. It was great. It was both, you know, a girls and a guys camp. So yeah, it was a fun time. It was kind of humorous, but yet horrific, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I loved it. Anyway, thank y'all again for watching, sticking around. Hopefully I will see y'all very, very soon in my next video. Hugs from me all around. Stay safe out there. Yeah, I'll see y'all real soon. I'll see you real soon. Bye, y'all.